Hello, third graders. Today we are going to be looking at define words important to finding perimeter. You will be successful when you can define words that are important to finding perimeter. So today we're not actually going to find perimeter, we're just going to learn about some words that you will need to know when finding perimeter. Let's get started.
The length, third graders, is the distance from one end to the other. So if you take a look at the picture of the soccer field below, you will see the length is that front or bottom side, okay? We're going to use the words side and length together a lot. Sometimes it'll even say find the side length, okay?
When I think about this too, I know a lot of you play football, some of you play soccer. So when I think about it, I think that the length is the sideline that the fans sit on, and then the width would be the end line where either the end zone is or where the goal is at. And then when we talk about width, like we just mentioned, that's the distance across from side to side. So that's where, if you're thinking about a football field, your end zones would be at the width of the field, or where your soccer goals would be.
As we have learned before, this is just a little bit of review, but a side means a side of a polygon. So we have all of these polygons listed, and we know that triangles, no matter how they look, as you can see 4 different types, they all have 3 sides. We know that a square has 4. We know that a rectangle also has 4. I know that a pentagon, as you can see below, has 5. You can see the side lengths here. Sorry, number of sides there. So it is very important that you remember how many sides there are. So once you get to finding the perimeter, you make sure that you have gotten all of the sides in your measurements.
And remember, third graders, that word quad means 4. So quadrilaterals are any shape with 4 sides. So when we look at the word figure, a figure is a word used to describe any geometric object. That could be lines, shapes, angles, etc. So just know when you hear the word figure, that is talking about any geometric object. You might hear it as measure the figure, describe the figure, or find the perimeter of the figure.
So when I see the word figure, is it always talking about an angle?
Not always talking about an angle. It could be talking about a line or a shape.
So it's whatever is identified in the picture shown. All right, third graders, unit is very, very important for you to remember. When we talk about word problems, we always talk about the unit. And when we talk about geometry, we need to make sure that we have our unit as well. Unit is the value, so that could be centimeters, inches, feet, meters, yards. All of those words are on the right. And then if you look on the left, that is how you would write them shorter. Okay, so cm stands for centimeters, in for inches, ft for feet, m for meters. Okay, be careful with meters because we also have miles, and miles is mi. So make sure that you can tell the difference between those. And then yards would be yd. Of course, there would be other ones as well, but those are some important ones to start with.
And third graders, when I think of perimeter especially, this is important to know the unit, because if somebody were going to come and measure the perimeter of my living room, they would need to know what unit we're talking about in order to lay the carpet down. I had the carpet in my house replaced. If I had told them that the perimeter of my living room was 45 centimeters, but it was really 45 feet, he wouldn't have come with enough carpet to fill my living room. So it's really important that you're using the correct units. So looking at this in application, how can we apply this? Let's put what we know to work. what is the length of this figure? So when I look here, the figure is this rectangle here. Okay, and that's what the figure they're talking about is. What is the length of this figure? Go ahead and think about it for a second.
I'm picturing the soccer field in my mind.
That would be 10 feet. The length of this figure is 10 feet. So what is the width of this figure? Yep, 3 feet.
So Mrs. Sluzwitz, if I was going to write my answer and I wrote 10 here and 3 here, would that be good enough?
You're forgetting something that's really important. You're forgetting the units.
So using your growth mindset, third graders, don't think good enough. Think, is this my best work? And we need to write feet.
Much better.
Let's put what we know to work again. What is the length of the missing side? Well, I know that it's talking about the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pentagon that I see on the left. So the length of the missing side, well, that sure looks like a regular pentagon, and a regular shape has all the same side lengths. Think about it on your own. Okay, I know that because all of the other ones are the same length, this is going to be 4 meters, and this time I'm going to make sure to include my units.
Let's put more to work. What is the length for the missing side of this figure? Okay, so again, I'm looking at that figure on the left. It looks like a rectangle. I want to find the length for the missing side. Well, I know that a rectangle is a parallelogram. That means it has 2 sets of parallel lines. When I look here, these side lengths are the same. That means that these side lengths are the same. So that must mean that this side length is also 10 centimeters long. Mrs.
Sluzwitz, since we have a smartboard, I bet we could prove it another way too. If I draw a line segment here, I could take this line segment and, oops, I left one of my endpoints, and I can move it over here and see that it's the exact same. So third graders, you can't do that on your paper, but a little more proof if you don't believe us. So sometimes when we use the perimeter of something, we may need to find a measurement before we can find the perimeter, okay? That means that if you have a piece of paper and on there it says find the perimeter and there are no measurements around your rectangle, you might need to use a ruler to measure the exact side lengths before you do your work to find the perimeter. So if you are not sure how to do that, you don't remember how to use a ruler, please review the video for Unit 2, Lesson 1 in order to prepare for what we are going to learn tomorrow.
So perimeter, come tomorrow with a growth mindset, third graders, because we are going to start practicing finding perimeter on our own using the important words we learned today. Have a great afternoon.